Hi, this is Christian from Wingsurfer.nl. It has been my pleasure and privilege to test the new SUPfoil version 2 boards here in Tarifa with the sheep, as you can hear. The SUPfoil, I've tested both the 80 liters and the 60 liters the past 3 days. This is the normal construction. This is actually not the final paint job, so the shape, it's not a prototype, but the finish it is. So they will change a little bit. There will also be a pro version of the board. But I've tested the boards and I have to say a short review will be more than sufficient because these boards, they work really well. For the version 2 board, they changed a lot compared to the version 1. The whole shape has been renewed. It has become shorter, more narrow, and especially the bottom design, it's changed a big time, and I think that's been a good thing. I've had a review about the version 1. I compared it to the Drifter 4, and basically the conclusion was for light wind days I really liked the SUPfoil because it's a mid-lenght board, gets you going really quickly, but it had a little step bottom here, that was okay, but the nose of the board, it had such a big displacement hole. It was like a big round boat. It would get you going in minimal wind to get up, to make some speed to get up onto the foil. It is a nice board, I think, for the light conditions, but then in certain conditions, that nose, being that round, maybe in combination with the step bottom, it sometimes, what I noticed, it would like stick to the water when it would get a little bit choppy. Also, when you would do maneuvers and you drop down a bit and you would go a little bit skew, you'd stick to the water and you're down. For the version 2, the big displacement hole is become a really small displacement hole. It's actually the same nose shape they have on the new downwind boards coming out as well. From there goes to a long flat section. It just makes speed, it's easy to make speed that way, and also it provides you more stability when starting the board. If it's completely round, you're moving in all directions, so you need a flat section in there. And then towards the rail, really the last part, there's a little bit of tail rocker, so it will release from the water in certain angles a bit easier, and also for the re-entry it does make a difference, or when you're playing around in the waves. And that's why it also, on both sides, there's a long beveled rail. It's going the whole way, and because the board is narrower, you can make tighter turns without hitting the water. And if you do hit the water, these bevels just make sure you don't stick to the water. Being a narrower board, what's really important, it makes the board more difficult to start. So when you're going onto your knees onto the board, it does move around a little bit more. I've only been in Tarifa. It can be choppier, I noticed, but not as choppy as back home in the North Sea. So to counter this, I would suggest if your level is intermediate, get a board that has a little bit more volume, and that's okay. But because of the new shape, it's much more aerodynamic, so it goes through the wind much easier, and also when the wind picks up, you won't notice as much as with the previous design. So I think it improved a lot, but you do need to be a little bit more advanced. It's definitely not a beginner's board. It's just too wobbly to get up. It's really not that wide. The 80 liter, I think, is 20 inch wide, but just check the specs on my website, just to be sure for every size. I don't know for every size, every detail by head. Not yet, maybe at the end of the season, but who knows. Well, actually the season is the whole year, huh? Nowadays, so there is no season anymore. It's wingfoiling all year long, I'd say. Back to the boards. So this is not the final look of the board. So this is the normal version. It's already, well, it's 60 liters, so it's, of course it's lighter, but the 80 is also really good on its weight. I think, not sure if that's on it right now, but I read they changed the pads as well, making them lighter, making the board with the pad lighter as well. So might be this one already, I'm not sure, it might even become lighter. Also, if you take the straps off, it will be lighter. But if lightness is important to you, you really want the lightest and stiffest board out there. They also have a Pro model. That Pro model is about 20% lighter of the normal board. So this construction was also done on the version 1. So it's the same, but then with the version 2 they have the normal construction and the Pro construction. It's not making it easier to choose, but if you just want the lightest and stiffest, go for the Pro version. They told me you can feel it. So if you into wave riding, pumping and everything, the stiffness of the board does make a difference. Every board comes with the foot straps, the nice V-strap, single foot strap in the rear. There's quite some options. I think I'm not 100% sure, but on the version 1 I had the feeling the boxes were a little bit, for some possible foils, were a little bit too far forward compared to the foot strap. I think it's good on this version. But with KT foils, the ones I tested here, they have to go a little bit more to the rear anyway. The whole purpose of the mid-length boards is to get onto foil quickly with a smaller foil. A smaller foil generally needs a little bit more speed to get onto the foil. And that is what these boards really do perfectly. But what I did wonder, that's why I only use these boards in Tarifa here, with low winds, strong winds, is how do they perform in strong winds? Because before I would just switch back to the Drifter 4 board, because that's the board I like in most conditions. So with this one, being on the 5.0, powered up on the 80 liter, I was still going good. I only didn't feel like jumping it. Then when I got the 60 liter board, it did feel like I could jump it. It was my wind direction, so I didn't really, but it felt good. But in the end, I think most people will just choose these boards to get onto the foil quickly. And if you're more experienced, you want to go onto the smaller boards. Just be aware that they are a little bit less stable than the previous model, or like a more old school design that's a little bit wider, a little bit, well, still a little bit long, otherwise it's still unstable, but you know what I'm talking about. So these boards, the smaller boards, are really for the ones that have been progressing a lot. The really small boards, like 30 liters and all, looking at the specs, and I've seen one in real life, I wouldn't wingfoil it. Some people might, if your weight is low. But for pronefoiling, I think those shapes look awesome. So long board, not wide, so it pedals quickly, so you can take mushy waves really easy. I think they are really good for that. Conclusion: although this isn't the final paint job, the graphics, the way the shape is, it already looks very appealing to take this board out for a spin. Especially experienced riders really will appreciate the new design of this board. It's got a much wider range. Intermediates just take a little bit more volume. They came out with Super K a bit faster than expected. Normally it's been out, the old one has been out for only a year. Normally with KT I think they come out with new boards every 2 years. So, but as things evolve quickly in foil country, I suppose they had to change the design to stay on top, you know. They haven't changed all wing boards this year, so they only changed where they really thought it was necessary. And I think with this Super K, it's been a good thing that they did. If you're a beginner, do just look at the Drifter 4. That's also a long, still quite a long board. It has much more stability than this one. So this one is for the more experienced guys out there, and girls of course. So if you like this video and you have any questions, just post them below. See you later.